it definitely gives you the safety, and then you could start almost thinking about maybe that extra little bit of prize money. And well, for both of these teams heading into Split, slightly different, well, I say slightly, very different approaches to the map. Like, obviously, we've still got Nats sticking it in on that Astra, which is something that I think in terms of a controller, it's somewhat been nerfed. But obviously for him, he's been using it similarly towards a Sentinel at times. So definitely going to be exciting to see how that played. And of course, we got a Neon in the server. Has Mitch made it back? I can't tell. Either way, taking control early. Of course, it's the attacker side start for Mech. They're going to try and make their move here, but almost trying to bait out some of that early utility from FNATIC on this defensive side. Wall already being broken apart, but ultimately it's just to make sure that they can split in either direction. And for the side of FNATIC, they don't have the complete story in terms of information. In fact, Durka maybe a little bit tempted to try and battle in, find out that extra info. Both 0 points going to land on either side of the map and try and fake things out a little bit, but it does seem like SHEDULES is now building his team up to go for this fight. It's the nade thrown through, but actually Chronicle is the first one to land a shot. Durka going in for a little bit more, and he's going to end up with 4 kills! A collapse to almost confirm the round, and now Nats is the only one remaining. I'm sure that Durka on the other side is going to want a little extra piece of the pie. Start things off as SHEDULES did in the previous map, and Nats is going to go peeking into the angle. Durka sets this off with a bang as he takes 5 in the first round.
There. Caution here.
Either way. Oh, have you made it back?
What a time to get back, huh? Wow. Tech issues being what they are.
Trying to break this one down?
You know what? I think Durka did a good enough job of that himself. Wow. I mean, I only missed the first round, which makes me very sad then, because I'm sorry, Tom. I've just left you talking for like 10 minutes by yourself. But these things happen. I'm sure you got through it. I'm sure the folks at home loved it. And now things get worse because I'm back. 1-0, FNATIC. Defensive side. Hey, they got off to a good start with Durka flexing his muscles. But we know how dangerous this attack side from Mech can be. With pistols in their hands, they've bested FNATIC on just the first map in this series twice on their attack side. Let's see what they can do here on Split. Plenty of close range options, and of course, with a headhunter in the hands of Chronicle, he can take some ranged fights as well.
You fought well.
Brave in that crossfire, and while they're being torn apart, only one player remaining, and SHEDULES, it's not going to get anything. A flawless round, a single kill, in fact, for Mech over the last 2 rounds. And while in terms of ultimates, Durka's pretty close. Were you surprised, Mitch? You surprised Durka's pretty close?
Yeah, after that first round, I thought we're probably not going to see an ult out of this guy for this map. But yeah, pretty solid. Going to be clocking up those very dangerous showstoppers potentially into the next round. And I think this is maybe even a round of opportunity for him right here. Play for an orb, maybe try to catch something. Of course, just look at how Mech are approaching this. They're playing default out there. I like the Neon from Defo starting out with the shock. Trying to stun them out in towards B main, deny that control. And they've stopped them from really going for any sort of early round aggression towards this B and mid side, which is just free real estate for Mech.
You can see Boaster just setting up with a flash. He's going to actually counter theirs moments after throwing it, and well, it's only going to be the one, but still a little bit dangerous. Defo gone, normally the entry man for the squad with a hell of a lot of utility on the other side. I will say that on this attacking side, Chronicle also just works as that second entry, and from what we've seen so far from it, it is pretty filthy. Nonetheless, an early trade in a round like this for FNATIC, it's not bad.
And not at all. Now they've even come in with another. Okay, Nats is down. And a little bit of control for Brave. Up atop the wall. Good flash deals with him. Numbers even back up. FNATIC have to rotate to the B site. Magnum playing late on the ramp is going to be in a little bit of trouble if he loses the fight. It's about to go down towards heaven, and he has. You know, with I just saw Durka get a kill on B. He's on A before them. He's beat them. He's gotten to A before they've made it to B from heaven and caught them on the cross. There's one. There's two.
God.
That brings him up to a triple in this round. A showstopper online. This is an unbelievable. He's 9-0.
Durka took that last map personally. He was like, you know what? No, I want to go to Iceland more than you guys do. So I've just decided that I'm going to average 3 kills a round for the rest of the match.
I can't get over the 10-second window in which he kills somebody in B heaven. And then at that same
they don't even
moment,
have a brimstone. It's not even like he was stimmed or anything. That was just sheer movement.
Exactly the same moment. There's 2 players in A heaven, and he beats them and catches them on the cross of A. Like, that blast pack was gorgeous. Flights is rubbing his hands with that.
Oh, you hate to see it. You can't jump up with the slowdown, and well, the headhunter's gone at least for a second, but more importantly, there's quite a lot of information there for Boaster. That's the main goal. Use that 0 point, find out where the opponents are currently set up, and again, they're going to go flashing in for that extra control of ropes. Still, though, Boaster's managed to keep this position for now, at least, and with the screen, he's able to rotate. Did Chronicle see something? I guess he must have done as it faded, otherwise that's madness.
Yeah. The connection, oh, look, it's not the end of the world, but making that little bit easier to chip down that Brave Aft, forced out of position. Although they've dealt with Nats, it's the heaven control I'm worried about. You can see that Mech are gearing up for it, trying to catch that line of sight right onto Brave. Yeah, working the picks in this round is all well and good, but 35 seconds left. Eventually, yeah, you're going to have to make a decision here as Mech. You're going to have to blitz in. And they're going towards the right side of the map here, Tom. Only Mystic to defend B. This is starting to get a little bit worrying. Good paranoia, but he doesn't catch Redgar with it. Oh, Defo is 1-to-1 traded the showstopper. That's as good as it gets. A 2v3 for Mech, where they come in with pistols, and now it looks like they'll get the plant.
10 seconds
There's
left.
also the lurk from Chronicle. I don't think they're going to expect anybody to still be here, but the timing just about works out. They also have a snake bite to try and force the player off, but Redgar, with an almost instant kill, leaves it just onto Boaster. They may not expect him to push this far forward so quickly, but they have a wonderful crossfire, and it seems inevitable that eventually Mech are going to win one of these pistol rounds. It was such a phenomenal start for FNATIC, but it just sounds about with the judge. Like, it actually irritates me. The amount that God B was doing it made me want to stop watching the game, because he's just every round just sat on the top of that stage wall. But I'm more intrigued at the moment of how Nats is actually going to make this Astra work, because it like, especially on the defensive side, I can definitely see how it could work as like a sentinel, like him just locking positions down, but he has to be so selective now with where his stars are used. Otherwise, they won't have smokes for an execute.
I mean, that's very much the thing, right? You've got to be much more calculating. But for a player like Nats, maybe that won't be a struggle. Looks like Mech are going to be moving into this fast mid blitz again. And hello, Defo! He is coming around those corners at light speed. Brave can't get out of the smoke. Even had a fragment right at his feet. This is a tough start to the round for the defensive side, and well, it ain't getting any better with Durka going down.
Yeah, his early round destruction is quickly diminished as it got into the proper buy. Well, I say proper buys, the last was still pistols, but Redgar stepping up, and fair enough for Magnum. He's just going to try and get himself a little bit closer to that Viper's Pit. The problem is his weapon for retaking these angles.
30 seconds left.
It should be an impossibility, especially with Defo just still lurking here. There's no way he loses that duel.
There.
Yeah. Quick and clean.
Go, go, go.
Really nice start for him as well. You know, this is a player that we can see on a Raze. We can see him on pretty much any agent, but you know, your Raze or Jet on a map like this to open space, Defo can get a lot of value on. And Neon, well, it's certainly looking good. Now, obviously, that's up against a pistol, but it's just the confidence of going in for that control, taking it so early. Something that, you know, a team like FPX, back in the day, you would see Angel play super slow in there. Like, the first minute would be about sneaking him into vents. And here, Mech managed to do it in just a matter of seconds. Now, I wonder if we'll see that when it comes to a buy round, though, in one of the future ones, that same level of aggression out of Defo. Love to see the attempt at least, especially with a breach.
Here we go again. That control has almost been given up. The thing is, for FNATIC, they've been giving this up in most of the buy rounds. I think it was just something a little bit cheeky being attempted by Boaster. Again, though, we're just seeing this back and forth of utility over on this side of the map. And interestingly, Chronicle, you see this all popped often in an economic position. Well, he's just playing it in this round because they have got so much economy behind them that it gives them that extra little bit of range when challenging outside of A.
That's a good start.
You know, I look at this situation for Mech. They're going in through this control constantly and winning the duels. Finally, though, they're going to be put to a stop on that heaven and vent control. It's not Boaster, who had been trying to play those angles earlier in the eco and so on. But it doesn't quite matter. Having Dirk, having Magnum there to deal the damage leaves Mech really reset back into the early round. They've got no extra control past vent room, which has been given up by FNATIC pretty much every round. They've reset into mid, which is just going to leave them in... Someone has to be a hero. They're running into a 3-player B stack in a 3v3. And all the utility there for FNATIC as well. Best of luck to them. With 10 seconds left on the clock, they've got to go quickly.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, it's gone about as expected.
Yeah, a slaughter in the end, and that's the thing. If FNATIC aren't giving a lot of those early picks over, you are then starting to rely a lot more heavily on Chronicle and Defo to try and find you that space, get you those openers, and it just didn't really happen in this round. I will say as well, like, on this map in particular, like, Omen on that B site just seems like such a strong decision in terms of actual defense. Like, the Paranoia is still incredibly effective, especially if you have a little bit of range between you and the opponent. But also just the one-ways that we've sort of seen multiple players do. I think Bone Cold is the one given a lot of the credit for that, but it's something that just makes a lot of these early takes in that direction incredibly difficult. And again, you're going to see the same sort of, like, split setup, the default held by Mech, hoping that they catch someone on the aggression, but it is a very passive position right now out from FNATIC. They are not giving anything away.
Well, again, very similar to what we've seen from them, right? I mean, Boaster tried to flash down into vent, tried to the closer end of the eco, but other than that, I mean, it's rare to see a FNATIC member step foot around middle. I mean, what? That can't be happening. Just straight through the wall, taking him down. Like, can't see a thing. Doesn't matter. Boaster's down. A side looks like it's open for business. You still got Magnum here, and he's taking the fight right to them. What a lunatic. Viper's pit used up, and oh, look, the rest of the players are up in heaven, so they're not necessarily upset or distraught about that. Instead, they're going to redirect this entirely, moving back to middle, while Nats tries to lurk inside of Viper's pit. Not many players are brave enough to attempt that. And
it's gorgeous.
Spike down.
Oh, just cleaning it up. The Paranoia coming through to slow them just as Durka made it around. Durka in this round as well had an incredible read. So he had already rotated back as they began to do so, and then just waited back around the corner for the Paranoia to come through from Mystic. Even had a secondary smoke to slow them down if it was needed. As you can tell, it wasn't. But both of those players couldn't see a thing. Still only got one of the assists, of course. I think maybe the Paranoia hit onto Defo and didn't actually hit. It was the peak from SHEDULES that was trying to save them, but that's just a wonderful little setup. And again, just with all these close angles, it's just the power of that Paranoia.
Well, that's it. You know, many players doubted the ability of Omen in the past, but you can see it here on a map like Split especially. Oh my god, man, the slow, the nade. Well, Defo tried to take some space, just like we've seen him do countless times, over towards the vents, but, oh, it's not as easy as dropping down into the ropes, it seems. 5 versus 4, Mech moving to the A site. Well, they've got that control nicely. FNATIC are content with playing a retake. Very late Redguard look as well.
That's a good spot.
Yeah, the potential, but he needs his teammates to buy for time. Luckily, he does seem to have the right mem for the job already. Smoke down, going to destroy that extra bit of utility. Nats is already down, but SHEDULES has done this just to give time for that flank. Redguard already going to fire one, and it's getting a little bit awkward now for the FNATIC boys, as another is going to be caught. Chronicle's still within the site, and, well, the time is ticking. They need to get a move on if they're going to get anything done, and he still has that information available to him. One drop, but the trade is fast, and, well, SHEDULES is currently outside of the site. the retake will work in the end, even with the clock ticking fairly low. It should just about be there, but only a second left. And considering the scenario they started in, it was pretty close.
Poison's off.
It sure was. I can't help but wonder, though. Redgar seems to have popped his ulti when he was coming on that flank, and I imagine that gave the FNATIC players in heaven at least a tiny bit of warning on where he was.
Did he do it before or after he got the first kill?
I believe it was just before the first kill, if I'm not mistaken. Now, what I'll say is he did have a Spectre, and I think it's a very tough call then. Is it worthwhile? I do think, though, flanking through heaven, it seems like it would be worthwhile to stay under the radar. But then again, maybe I did misread it. Maybe it was just after the first kill or just as he got it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but either way, just a couple seconds in between it. It's a heartbreaking loss. Well, he's been doing that almost every round. I guess it's only a matter of time before it went wrong.
Brave just like, that's enough of that. All right, this is enough. Stop just trying to sprint past us. Again, we're going to see this one-way setup. A Mystic, this is the thing. His job here is just to delay as much as possible. It's something he's been an expert at across multiple agents at this point, going on Viper in the past, also, of course, on his Astra, and now even sets up a different smoke just so they can't use his own one-way against him, and he gets that control back. Just buying so much time, and there's already some like weaker weaponry in this sort of round and a man disadvantage, so Mecha just really hoping for some way back into this.
Okay.
Ooh,
nicely
he
done,
gets
Chronicle.
out.
Yeah, he's able to get out of there with the TP, so Dirka's
all.
ult comes to nothing. You're going to have the operator now to play with, essentially, to throw the false on the way out. Mystic is gone. Brave shortly to follow, and now things become very scary indeed. Boaster can't even get his flash popped before he's being taken down by Chronicle, and they know the exact angle that Magnum's got to be coming from. They've got mid, they've got B main. It only leaves this spawn. Nicely handled by Mech, and a huge round from Chronicle, considering how it starts off as well. Being able to walk out of there with all three, and you saw the impact of the Tour de Force in a lot of those duels.
Yeah, it's just the power of Chronicle being able to be that entry fragger for you and then have a quick fadeaway option. And I think in terms of players that have that timing down to a T of just not being caught in any sort of animation or even just not reacting quick enough, he seems to be incredibly good at that. Durka currently has 16 kills in 9 rounds. Like, again, I don't want to be a scoreboard warrior, but that is absurd.
Yeah, it really and truly is. He's had 2 showstoppers, right, so far. Oh, big play. Brave App, Durka both getting the mid control and backing out immediately. That's exactly what you want for a team like FNATIC, who haven't played around mid at all. They've even conceded control over ropes in what I would say is 80-90% of the rounds, bar the eco where Boaster held up close. And this round, first couple seconds, there's 2 guys facing you. You're not going to expect that, and that pace change yields a massive reward.
Yeah, it's a great call. Like, you can see that Defo was setting up the exact same play he'd made, like put down his walls and just try and sprint his way through mid, but the fact is this time they were prepared for it, and now again they're in trouble. They need to find some sort of reaction back. It's going to be the push towards heaven, but the problem is there's already 3 players here in somewhat of a crossfire. Brave doesn't even really need to fight this, but he decapitates Nats, and now they've just jumped down into what is a horrific crossfire to try and survive from. In fact, only one of them did, as SHEDULES was almost just waiting up above, and they now even know where he is as well.
Yeah, Mystic's holding him in, and although a nice shot is connected, that is the first of what needs to be 5. An ace clutch in 20 seconds. At least he's got the spike with him, but that's about where the benefits start to disappear. Yeah. Gonna run away and try to save this weapon.
10 seconds left.
That's 7 rounds in the defense already. Pretty solid.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, again, like we're looking at this map as still being incredibly strong in the defense, so I don't think that there's going to be too much of a worry. Of course, the only time we've seen this comp played is versus Big. I don't want to be mean to Big, but they didn't win a match, so, like...
The action, he's not playing the lurk rolls like we've seen Redgar taking that up on the B play when he had the Spectre moving back through, and I just feel like, for me, looking at Nats right now in this half, very underwhelmed by the Astra pick.
Yeah.
Especially in such an important game like this. But there's still time. There's still time for it to work when that goes to defensive side. Still, I want to see a little bit more out of Mech before we get there. Push themselves up to the, maybe at least the 4 rounds, right? Give them a buffer if they lose the next pistol.
Yeah, it seems like the agent is a lot less on the fly. Like, you can see him placing a lot of his stars down, and that just is almost where they have to be used because of the retrieval time being so much higher. And then the fact is, a lot of that has now become quite telegraphed, of this smoke being down to almost section off the space into mid. A lot of the time, Brave is also just walling it to make sure they can't actually garner that control. And then it just becomes almost an early round information / utility battle for, I say early round, most of the round, because we're now down to the 40-second mark, and we're only just starting to really realize where Mech are going to go. And for Fnatic, they've not really moved much.
In fact, they've even just used their knife to clear out rope room, right? To guarantee they're not inside the vents just now. There's some noise on mid moving towards
left.
B. And with that, Fnatic think they've read the information that this is going to be a B play. They start to rotate, but it's a little early. Now, Boaster tries to retake control of Heaven. Well, if he does that, he's running into 3 or 4 players. Instead, he'll move down to his teammate, try to play this one together. Maybe a flash out, the smoke coming through. Although I see now that he goes back up into Heaven, and they're going to take this together. 4 players from Fnatic looking to seize this control. Nats has already been spotted. He runs away to try and keep himself alive for a little bit longer, cause that extra angle for them to have to clear, but he's down and dealt with. Now they look towards the rest of the side on the retake. SHEDULES, the first to be targeted and dealt with. The close left corner in danger. Defo is gone as well. It's Redguard to clutch it again. The same position as before. This time just 15 HP and absolutely no hope. So he is out of here while Fnatic pick up an 8th. This is starting to become a scary defensive side. They're looking to close this out with 9. Sure, this can be the defensive half and so on and so forth, but geez, man, this isn't a defensive half. This is Durka's half. He's 19-4.
Well, I would love to just have his POV alone for that retake, because I swear to God he didn't let go of W key the whole time. He ran all the way through Heaven, headshot a guy as he ran down the ramp, ran all the way through, cleared the cubby, headshot a guy, and then just walked onto the site. It's like, you're talking about Neon being this fast-paced agent, where it doesn't matter what agent Durka's playing if he doesn't let go of W.
Yeah. Everyone on Fnatic has got 6 kills while Durka's up on 19. This is a dominant half so far for the defensive side of Fnatic. They did pick up the pistol, so we'll give a little bit more wiggle room to Mech. But again, if they don't win this round, coming into the next half, that pistol becomes so valuable. I mean, it's just not a risk that you want to run as this attacking side. Same little bit of aggression coming out of Defo, and the same map controls taken for free. With a minute left on the clock, they can go anywhere they want at this point. Remember, they've still got control outside of B. They know that the players haven't pushed up all the way there. So, no! Monster! That was not worthwhile. He is down for just a nade, and with that, that's the advantage for Mech.
If they can reclaim this control, they do have the res, but it definitely seems like Mech are aware of this. They are not willing to just give this up for free. They currently don't have anything covering off the spawn. There's a couple of players there. You can see the star just going down, but this time the spam for Magnum, well, it's huge. That's the spike on the ground. Luckily, Defo is just about quick enough to get out of there without too much trouble, and they will have their afterplant after all.
Oh, Dirk has ended up losing out on that duel. There's a way back in for Mech with Nats holding on to their flank, moving up to cover in Heaven as well with his teammate. Self and Chronicle can play that crossfire, keep the top control, and it's planted for them. Something that Fnatic are going to have to be aware of. What has just happened? Nats is the last alive. You blink and you miss it, literally. And those shots, well, they missed. That's for sure. 9 on the board at the halftime. Fnatic just come out with an incredible first half on the decider. Mech are going to have to be strong, and honestly, Tom, at this point, they're going to need to win the pistol.
Sides.
Yeah, no, I think that's without a doubt. Like, even with their sort of 11-1 defensive half last time, as said, it's versus big. Fnatic have obliterated every other team in their path. In fact, they're yet to lose a series within this challenger's stage, and well, they're on track to continue that. Of course, there's going to be many talking about the curse, but it is more reliant on Mech getting off to a strong start here. And I don't doubt their defensive side. I think this composition can still work in that manner. I think Nats can still make this agent work in that regard. I just think that trying to be reactive with Astra right now is very, very difficult because of, as said, like the retrieval time, also just the amount of delay. If you do go for any sort of stun, but then you've got to wait, well, I think it's 45 seconds before you get it again. And well, the other problem is just not having as many stars. Chronicle, though, as said, this is the half where, for me, like him and Defo looked really impressive last time. I was pleasantly surprised with how they managed to play and how much map control they're able to challenge for. So I'll be intrigued to see how it works this time.
Well, Defo finished out that last half with 3 kills, and I think that left him on the last 8 or 9 rounds with nothing done. It's been a really, really rough map for him so far. Nats is still alive on 70 HP after spamming away, and he has made it out of that side alive. Still, they need some kills. They need to maintain some control, and it hasn't gone well for Defo to start with. Now, with Heaven lost, these players on site, they get pressured. I like the orb down. It's actually FNATIC's orb that provided some cover for Mech. That said, the cover didn't seem to do all that much. Putting them down at 40 HP. Chronicle 1v5. Hey, he's got 5 bullets in the head, Hunter.
Spike
You never know. Well, there we go.
Oh, that's so cursed. Just he goes to pick up a gun. I love the way that almost seemed like a layered attack, but with somewhat of a push and pull. Like you had the initial play going in through B main. Then as the fight is going on the other side of the map, you have to swing back through Heaven while those players in main almost just hold their positions. They don't overface, they don't overreact. Then as the main push comes through,
I think they might be watching from home. Where they belong.
Wow. Wow. That took a toxic turn.
Oh, no, I love him, but, you know, it is what it is.
Oh, here we go.
Why are there 2 shorties? Sell those. Sell those. Oh, I hate you.
Oh, they're cheap, you know? It's not costing them much.
with a shorty, and Neon shorty. You look me in the eyes and tell me that's okay.
I can't use that.
Sliding in short. Oh, shit. It's making me scared.
That could be worse. It could be a Yoru.
And I really like Yara this update, I'll be honest. I love him.
You can see that FNATIC is still going to take this one nice and slow. They've got all of their utility available, making sure they clear some of these positions. Chronicle's the main danger man here, although Nats has managed to get one from the backlines. SHEDULES in the crossfire as well. Luckily, Mystic is there, and the punish. Only 2 bullets in the clip. Nats again still fighting tooth and nail, and Redguard was very far behind. Will eventually come in, but this could be a surprise, you know? It's so late. Oh, no.
Yeah, so you've just noticed.
Oh, no.
You've just noticed.
I didn't
He
know
can make it to the site.
Planted.
Oh, no. Oh, no, he's made it on! He's got the kill as well! Even the weapon picked up now. No info on the... Whoa, he's actually guessed it right! Great damage. Dirk on 10 HP. Redguard actually clutches it. A shorty in from B main. And that's how Mech get their 4th round. What is with these guys and pistols? Why are they so good with them?
That shouldn't have worked, Mitch.
Never should have worked.
That shouldn't have worked. Like, he had to slow walk all the way through. It's like, Nats did an incredible job from this position. The crossfire with SHEDULES, wonderful. But then just, how does he win a 1v2 with a shorty from B main? Like that, you got to be so frustrated if you're a boaster. Just like, was he there the whole time, like waiting for me? Like, did he walk in? Like, he's gonna watch that back and just be like, that's the unluckiest I think I've ever been. Dirk glass packing himself out of there though while blind was also quite impressive. Oh, Chronicle's already got the first kill of the round. Blink and you miss it. All right, cool.
Yep. Standing straight in the middle of mid, and then TP's out of there. Nicely handled to give the advantage over to Mech. After winning out that previous round with nothing but a shorty, now they open this one out. FNATIC, well, they've only got a couple of pistols, so you're not favoring them in these fights for the most part. And I say that as Brave Af just completely beheads Chronicle. Nice nade, a little bit of damage. Defo's gonna make an instant rotate.
Flashbang.
Yeah, there's still a couple of players within this site. Like, even with the control that's there, it's going to be tough. They've tried to bait this out a little bit with Boaster being walled in, maybe able to take some closer battles, but just getting onto this site is going to be incredibly difficult, and they almost need to try and isolate one of these players, but you can see that they're currently watching each other's back, and the main problem now is the clock is starting to tick down. Magnum, though, maybe getting a little bit further than they might have expected him to, but Defo at the last moment will switch his gaze back around. Boaster has also caught Nats now. Mystic hits a headshot, and this might actually give them the site controlling back. No, they're running all the way back to A.
Well, they know the rotates have come through. Yeah, Defo and Rekka are here, so why bother trying to fight it? The plant can be safely secured. It's for heaven as well.
10 seconds left.
They've got control only with one player there.
Flash.
Weaker weapons, low HP, no shields. This is tough for FNATIC to hold on to. You can see that they're not even trying to fight. They're not even trying to catch these guys off guard. They want to hide away and run this clock down as much as physically possible. I'm looking at them, though. No utility on Mystic or Boaster. If that spike is tapped, someone's going to have to go and get line of sight on it. There you go. That's when it comes through. Defo with the quick 2 kills. The round goes their way. It's costly, but they get it.
Did Mystic put a smoke on the site just to play with the mind of his opponent? Just like, oh yeah, there's a smoke here, so someone must be around it. And he's just sat all the way back. Just like nowhere near. There's no one anywhere near that smoke. And I think it was actually Redguard was just watching it like, well, there has to be someone in there. They haven't just put that down randomly. Almost wins them the round. Like a little bit more time bought. Obviously, Boaster at that point is not going to be expecting someone to still be watching the ropes, but hey, incredibly costly round. FNATIC now coming in with a buy, and ult-wise, not a whole lot online. A few very close, though.
Teleport's ready.
Oh, Chronicle. Oh, he's not able to TP out. That doesn't deter him. I like that he's just sticking around even despite that. Wants to get the fight, wants to take the duel, and well, he's going all the way to their spawn to do so. No dice, though. Not going to be finding anyone there. Durka taking that control. They've got their vent room. Doesn't come at a heavy cost, really. They need to take main back if they want to have any notion of moving here. And, you know, really, Chronicle's just trying to apply that pressure. Keep the information. He's going to TP back now. Oh, that flash didn't get him. So he's still here. He's still going up. And there's Boaster down. Spike in his control. And he knows another player is waiting to take that duel still, though the rest of the team's likely on their way. So there's no point in him steaming forward and overcommitting.
Oh, the timing here could be everything. 2 players watching, stunned through. Durka will be able to escape, but that's about all for now. Still leaving that man advantage, and they've taken no map control. They just currently have mid with 35 seconds left. Mech have done an incredible job of just delaying this, but Durka, he's a little bit sneaky. Uses their own smoke to try and stop them catching him, but the stuns in combination will drop that man to the deck. Now Redguard, he's spotted them already. He knows exactly where they are.
Well, that wall up's at least going to buy FNATIC a little bit of time as they move to the site, but they've got to deal with Nats. That wall up actually buys him a lot of space. 2 kills for Defo with it.
What?
How?
What?
I've never seen 1, let alone 2. 10-6 we go. Oh, that's a big blow. Look at the money that's left.
I guess the fast lane isn't for everyone, Mitch. You know, some people need to try and take it a little bit slow. I'm always just shocked by the fact that 2 people must have been so low to run through that and actually die. But hey, you take them all day long. Defo climbing up the board a little bit, and 10-6. It's not out of the realms of possibility anymore, especially with this round being another eco. And look at this setup. It's dirty.
Well, the stun to start off gets Durka out of there. Luckily, he was still able to TP. They just shot from SHEDULES through the smoke. See what else comes their way. Chronicle's got a decent position. I mean, the problem here being that they're up against pistols. And the positions they're in right now allow them to be isolated in 1vx duels, allow them to be overwhelmed by numbers. Luckily, FNATIC are taking a much slower approach, and now that TP is back down. The anchor's going to allow Chronicle to move back to the site if he gets pressured. So he's able to keep holding this aggressive angle, maintain control over that spike, and pretty much lock in this round for them, pending no incredible shots from FNATIC.
I love how the rendezvous gives Chronicle the confidence to fight, knowing that he can escape, and then he just doesn't escape. It's almost just like, it just makes him more cocky. It's like, I could leave right now. I'm not going to, but I could, but I'm still not going to. And it just kills everyone and then goes, I could TP now if I want. It almost seems like if you just gave him that get out jail free card before, he would have just been destroying everyone for, well,
30
a ridiculous
seconds
amount of time. Again, 30 seconds. I don't know how FNATIC find anything from this and the spike being dropped. They just were splitting up and looking for clues, and all they found is death. 10-7 mech. All right, they're on the climb.
The scoreline starting to illustrate why this map can be considered so defensive-sided. You know, with 3 rounds between them, what was previously a dominant game from FNATIC at 9-3 at the half.
Into B main. Both players knew exactly where he was. He still gets a kill, doesn't even fade away, and just sits there and goes, okay, who's next? If they're getting to the point where FNATIC can't even force a player from just fighting them, we could already be seeing this comeback from happening. So there needs to be a drastic change.
They are so dead.
Look at this man.
He can't go further than this, right? This is where his limit is,
Well,
because he's
can.
got his rendezvous behind him. On paper, he shouldn't be. Oh, it's going to catch him off, surely. He's fired off and still gets one, but he can't get out on time. That TP not quite instantaneous, as he's finding out the hard way. Durka with that kill. He already had a showstopper online, but it's not going to be used. Not this time. Redgar cancels it out. Oh! Quickly done by Durka. He's going to try to finish the kill. That might get his showstopper back out, but he's out of ammo, and now he's being hunted down. It comes with a huge cost. They're even going to attempt the res here. Nats taps it for just a second. He's going to run out of time, though. Redgar's down. Not going to be able to get him back up and online. That flash dangerous. Nats still gets out on top. 1v2. SHEDULES with it all to do. At least the spike is down at his feet, though. We're just up above. FNATIC, with 39 seconds, they can go anywhere they want. This is going to be a slow one. Going up that rope, though, would just signal death, surely.
30
They
seconds
forced him
left.
back at least, but still haven't really managed to take that ground just yet. Mystic a little bit further back. They're going to try and peek this together. SHEDULES is so quick on the trigger, but it is going to be the trade straight back. A lesson for everybody there. This is why you don't spray down KO, because that couldn't have gone much worse. You understand why. Obviously, he wants to try and get the showstopper back, but and also just wants to finish off his opponent. But I definitely was way too close for comfort. However, FNATIC have done what they needed to do. They're right back on the board. As said, though, in terms of economy, it's irrelevant. Like, there is still a comfortable buy from there.
4 between them. Mac, they've had one hell of a start to this. Chronicle is slowed, and he heard that knife come through, saw the slow orb, and didn't give it down. He was happy to just sit there and take that fight anyways. Admirable for sure. Durka's running up mid, got the control again. Boombot's been going to this position most rounds just to seize this little bit of space, but so far we haven't seen them try to take it towards Redgar and really test his control over Heaven. This time we see the entirety of FNATIC coagulate around this A side. It's definitely feeling like Redgar is going to have a big round.
Cover going out.
Yeah, pressure about to be put onto him. Oh, it could be with pretty good timing for him, but it is actually only going to be the trade, and Durka has found Defo elsewhere, leaving Nats within the site. He's got himself a cosmic divide, almost looking to just try and play in front of it, and well, the res will come through eventually. Trying to res his opponent is not something I'm sure Brave would want to be doing in this scenario. The thing is, though, Chronicle already rotating in. I think they're starting to doubt themselves, even starting to swap back towards that B site as SHEDULES, and will leave just a couple of players here.
And really, it's situational for FNATIC. You know, not necessarily a choice to leave it that late. They just didn't have a smoke to put down. Waited for the refresh. Posters being shot down. Nats staying close, says Durka, dropping out of absolutely nowhere, materializing on the site. And with a Viper's pit down, Chronicle tries to make a play. It's not to be. It's to A, and that's where the spike's gone down.
Oh no, there is no escape. It's patient from Brave. Again, a big round for them. Shutting down that control early, managing to win a lot of those early fights, but The thing is, there was still 2 kills in that round from Mech, which I'm just like, well, the first one is Chronicle. I'm pretty sure just shooting through the smoke and killing Boaster makes no sense to me. And then Nats, again, just managing to reactively kill Durka. It didn't matter. They managed to take that space. FNATIC are doing so well at just trading off of those kills and not giving those multi-frag potential moments. And, well, still enough finances for Mech to have another go, but they now need 5 rounds in a row.
Yeah, you put it that way, certainly does seem a lot more difficult. Some of these early attempts, you know, in towards B main, towards middle here for Chronicle, like we're seeing now, haven't really worked out. And they've noticed that play from Durka, that he's seizing the space time and time again. This time, though, he looked for B Heaven. He's got it. And, oh, I felt like Defo was going down. Just with the kind of game he's been having so far, he has managed to survive. Rolling Thunder's going to be used. Oh, but now he's gone. Now he's taken down, of course, as he makes his way towards the spawn. Red Guard, with a big flank. Nade down as well. Buys a little bit of time, a little bit of space. Durka goes right back up top, though. Is he going to be able to snag this? Just about. Yeah, he's out of there with Spike in hand.
Yeah, he's almost got himself a showstopper as well. It could be a game changer towards the latter stages of the round. A 3v3 retake. It was looking done with Durka's entries, making this one almost look like an inevitability for this FNATIC side. Instead, though, there's still an opportunity here for Mystic within the smoke. Will already drop one, give them that advantage back once again. The remaining 2 trading effectively, keeping it into this 2v2 scenario, but they may not know. The Magnum's still within this corner, still just sat back watching onto the spike. He knows nobody's on it. They have to clear this together, and they will. Mech again, never down, never out, and they've got themselves an 8th.
It's going to be a long road with 4 more rounds needed to push to OT, but it's worth it for the prize at the end of the line. Mech want to push through to Iceland. FNATIC stopped them before. As you said, Tom, you know, this time around, it's not elimination, not quite as high stakes, but the prize is still the same. And no doubt Mech would like to make it a little bit more difficult for FNATIC to get there, just to give them a little taste of their own medicine from last year. Yeah. For now, though, that's still a possibility.
Well, yeah, especially considering FNATIC literally went off the back of them and they didn't manage to go at all. I believe as well the other match they lost was versus FPX, so I don't think they want that to recreate itself either. Slightly different iteration of the roster, but maybe they're just doing things backwards this time. Even still, though, this purchase is not ideal. Like, I'm looking at a Stinger, which is not something I ever want to look at as an option for a player within this map, so... I guess Magnum is almost just waiting to see, okay, is this going to be a B main push, and can I kill him with this P shooter?
It's one of the main concerns here with that showstopper online for Durka. At any given moment, you'll hear that noise, you hear that voice line. Mech are going to be scattering to the winds. This is something they're on edge about. You got 4 rounds left to play out. Avoiding something like this is essential, and right away, Nats is going to be caught. Sorry. They actually looked for the information outside, so they're trying to catch Mystic and see that he was out, but I don't think they will have seen him, right? I don't know if you spotted if he got detected by that knife. Either way, though, they are shifting towards the B side convincingly.
Yeah, the problem again, though, is that time is ticking. There's still the stuns available as well for Defo, which makes this terrifying. Like, he can basically just slow the entirety of this push, and FNATIC are basically making this move so incredibly late that they are going to get caught. Magnum's already down. Sure, the spike's still behind, but they got 15 seconds to make this move. The TP to the site's not going to do too much. Durka, though, will manage to find one. As you mentioned, SHEDULES with a quick trade, and actually, Brave is watching for that remaining player. At the last second, he's going to be able to get this plant down, but the remaining players are pushing it. Boaster needing this 1 versus 2, and it just won't happen. Mecha too quick to put that pressure on. Again, the rounds come close, but again, it's Mech on top.
Yeah, so far it feels like Mech moving towards the site, having their 3 players in the B site, their late round default, is exactly what they need because of the way that they're approaching it. Look at where these players are dying on the defensive side. It is passive as hell. It is way back. And it's something that Mech are not afraid to do, to give up that control to ensure when they are taking those fights, it's your 2v1s, it's your 3v1s. They're outnumbering and outdueling them on the site itself. It's a good reaction to what has been so far a very explosive attack from FNATIC. They'll take their control, especially towards rope room, pretty quickly, and then they'll freeze the round, wait for Mech to make a mistake, and blitz into a site. Whether it's A or B, that mid to site split is always coming through. And we've seen the adaptations from Mech. This one in particular, Chronicle trying to duel, didn't work last time.
Not quick enough.
It certainly hasn't worked that time.
See, this is the difference. And again, it's going to sound like I'm harping on Big, but he got away with that a lot versus Big, because he'd push it, he'd headshot someone, and he's gone. By the time he's headshot someone, either Durka or now Brave has reactively killed him before he can do anything. And in this occasion, he didn't even get a kill for it. He was hoping, kill, teleport out. Well, instead, he just got shot in the face.
It's a terrible start to the mid control for Mech. Not as poorly as it could have gone, especially because
for Durka.
it's the fact that they lose Chronicle right now. They have this complete void of information to play around. Defo's not even going to be able to try and stun them as they come through, because he's hit up by that knife right away. Boaster making all this noise, all this presence, but the rest of the team is going elsewhere. Nat's still waiting for them, catches the first and the second spike down at his feet. That is huge. He even continues to aggress. Nats is taking the whole team down. But for the wallbang of Defo, I think that would have been an ace, and no better time to pull out a play like that. 12-10. This was looking like an impossible task for Mech, having to nearly double the rounds just to push to an OT. But now they are hot on their opponent's heels.
Yeah, in terms of ultimate orbs, maybe Defo is the right person to get that kill. In any other form of anything else, he's an awful person for not allowing Nats to finish off what was a wonderful ace. I don't think it had anything to do with his utility or abilities. It was just his raw positioning. But again, the difference is now 2. They needed 5 in a row. Chronicle, he's still going for this. He's going for it again, and this time, well, it's free. Boaster runs out with a knife in hand, and Chronicle's out of there.
Well, that is certainly going to be a tough pill to swallow, starting things out for FNATIC. A player down, and it's their information, their initiation, leaving them just with one flash in the form of Mystics. As strong as it can be. You know, you got to look at his position. Think, where is he realistically going to be playing that? And, well, there it is up towards heaven. They'll fight for that side, but there's no one here. What did we talk about before? Super passive play out of Mech. These guys love to just play back way behind the site and pick you off as you go over to it. They've just grabbed another kill doing exactly that. And FNATIC, well, they freeze again because there is no gap. There is no opening for them right now. They don't know what to do.
I thought for a second maybe Brave was going to take the orb, and then at least he'd be one away from the res, but even still, like, getting a kill and getting back to one of those players seems impossible. And actually, FNATIC are just deciding to save. It really is just like they're running straight into a brick wall at this point. The early aggression of Chronicle, whether it fails or succeeds, doesn't actually seem to have much relevance to the rest of the team. Like, it's just incredible work with not only finding information, but also delaying. And I think that's what this comp does incredibly well. Like, you might look at a Neon and you're thinking, fast pace, blitzing through, but in fact, that's not the way that Defo uses it. He's using it to slow them down whenever they try and challenge into mid. And, well, FNATIC, they're going to hear the footsteps. I don't think any of them are going to get killed off just because they're so far back, but this is it. As said, 5 rounds in a row needed for Mech. Well, it's 1.
1 round. All the money they could possibly hope for. And Tom, I want to just take a look. The weapons that they had to start. I saw Defo had an operator as well. He does still at his feet.
Oh, yeah.
3 ops on split to start. Now remember, these guys, they got plenty of cash, so there's a weapon right at their feet they can pick up after. But this initial fight is going to be so off-putting for FNATIC. I mean, you cannot expect to run into a play like this. If they blitz, though, they might have a good chance. And already, they've managed to force Defo back. I don't think he got his rifle. He didn't. He still got the op.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the best opper on the ball at the moment? It seems like none of them. And not a single shot connected so far. And, well, Defo will be able to fall back to the site. He's got a smoke available. Redguard's gone. Durka looking back on form once again, and Defo under pressure. He's got Durka trying to wrap round, and he's being cornered. Still manages to find a headshot. And Chronicle looking to push back into the site.
Oh, that connection. It only takes down Boaster, who just been rezzed. The Chronicle does well even still. That's a man removed and flashes out of the play for FNATIC. You're going to have to do this on just raw aim duels, and it's not going well. Easily able to take that triple. SHEDULES pulls them into an overtime. We are fighting for that Iceland spot with everything on the line. Let's kick off OT here on Split. Hey, Tom. I mean, it's exactly the series we hoped we'd get.
I saw it was something I mentioned yesterday. I tweeted about it. I was like, the one thing that always was terrifying, if you're a mech fan or a Gambit fan.
All right, FBX were able to take them down. Other than that, not only have they won their games
in OTs as well.
In OTs, yeah, very, very close game. One map was 17-15. I think another was 14-12. The other was 13-11 or something. They were all super, super close. Then you move on to the Navi game, London United. Feel like these guys are just smashing. N3 have been challenged by FPX in a close series. Everyone else, they have just been categorically better than. And now Mech are coming in up against FNATIC, the only other team that has looked dominant in this as well. And we're getting the same series. To me, that's a clear top 3 establishing itself. And right here and now, I mean, you are 2 rounds away from making it to Iceland. I cannot believe we don't have more of a timeout in between these, with the players wanting to, like, not only take a breather, I'd want to go on a swift walk. You know, I want to go out, see nature for a minute. Just to gather myself, meditate, you know. Here we go.
But right back to it. It's that early ropes control, counter utility being used. Mech very happy to play a slow game on this attacking side. It definitely wasn't perfect, but it had its strengths about it. And you can still see the spike lurking on that other side of the map. Now, I don't remember how many kills Nats had in that first half. It wasn't a lot. It was very low, in fact. He's leveled up since then. Yeah, it was 1 or 2. His defensive side was fantastic. And that was exactly what we're expecting from this Mech team. Can they now dig deep and find something on the other side? Look at SHEDULES selling this. He has kept 3 players on that side of the map, Mitch, but there's still 2 on A.
Yeah, here come all the steps. And, you know, Boaster and Magnum, they're hearing that, but they've got the crossfire as well. Boaster's got to get some value from down below. He's dropped on and only good for the 1. The setup falls apart on this A site, and Mech have got the plant. Oh, they've got the round by the looks of it. 4 versus 2. Mystic and Brave need to dig deep if they're going to come up with anything in this. And instantly we get the stun, so Mystic's not going to be able to do all too much in terms of popping that last smoke down for a moment. It's just a waiting game in the back. Mech have got a beautiful setup.
Headshot. Well, he's trying to fake it, almost trying to bait someone into peeking him, but they're not, just falling apart based off 1 shadow step. It's going to take a lot more than that to break this team apart. They have come back from a deficit which looked now impossible, and by the looks of it, they're about to take the lead with the attacking round. Then all they need to do is what they've done for the remainder. And well, Mystic can't do anything about it. 13-12. FNATIC from 9-3 up, from 12-7 up.
Match point.
I've now lost 6 rounds in a row.
This has got to be heartbreaking for the FNATIC guys. Moving on to the attack side as well, Tom. I mean, this is where this team had an enormous amount of struggles. Hell, it's where both have, right? And now you've got to make it work here. Fight for survival in a game that you've had 5 chances to close out so far to book your spot in Iceland. Oh, man. This is tough. And for FNATIC, well, it's now or never. Let's see if they can make it all the way into that upper slot.
He jumps into the slow. The thing is that he's now gone and got them the information that there's nobody there.
They've rotated to B even still.
But look at, yeah, but it's because of Nat's position. It's because he's so deep. They'll have this information incredibly early, and then he'll have support from Redgar as well. The other thing as well is, do you expect Nats to be on this close corner? Well, with the flash in hand, I think they do. He's going to be completely blind and destroyed because of it. Nat's dead. Redgar needs to go big. The flashbangs are good. He gets 1 and actually escapes.
That's great. Yeah, a lot more than it looked like he was going to get. Durka on the hunt, though. Doesn't want him to get out of here just yet. They've got the control, and they're going to look for the plant now in just a moment. Boaster spike in hand. I thought someone walked towards that smoke, and I had a mini heart attack, but it looks like it's going to be secured. Plant down. And Mech have to play the retake. A retake for Iceland. They're taking their time on it, letting Chronicle try to work some of these angles with the operator first. It's the right play. The flash is good. Magnum stepping it up here and now. This might just be enough for FNATIC to claim another OT.
Yeah, now it's SHEDULES' turn to try and pull off the impossible clutch. He's had a great day today in terms of individual brilliance, but just Magnum wasting his time, just baiting him in, and he's getting frustrated. Just, I've got to kill this man, and even still, I can't do it. Magnum will bring them back from the depths, 13-13 after a streak from Mech. FNATIC are not down without a fight, and well, now they go back onto that defensive side. As said, both of these teams have shown their prowess. The issue I have, though, Mitch, and I'll always say this, when you get into OT, the side of the map is irrelevant. Like, sure, this has been an incredibly defensive display from both teams. It doesn't matter anymore. It's all just about the moment. It's all about those individual plays, and it doesn't even matter where you finished on the board. If you win one of these rounds, it's worth all the previous 12 before them.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, you are, you've already played 12 times, or now 13 against whatever it is, their attack or their defense. Start to run deep into the book. Whether it's your own strat book or whether you're trying to figure out what theirs is and counter it. It becomes very tough when you get to OT with the mind games. Second OT, and we just keep them going. It only gets even more difficult to deal with. That's Defo attempting something that cost him his life before, but okay, it works out this time. What are they going to do with it?
Yeah, you see the same spam come through from Brave, but ultimately it's just to try and deter that push. Wall buying a little bit of extra time, but as said, like, Mech really don't care about that clock being low. They've still got the majority of their players set up outside the B site, and there hasn't been any aggression from FNATIC, so they don't have that information. Instead, they're going to look to start reclaiming some of that ground, and the Boombot might give them the info they need.
No, FNATIC will. I mean, they're still sitting here, though, waiting to fight as they come on out of mid, but that timing is absolutely perfect as mechs start to make their way forward. FNATIC are under heavy pressure on the site. Heaven Control completely given up. The utility starting to come in. It's at that moment that they step it up, but Mech, they come right back into it. Chronicle with another, leaves Magnum to do it all with Boaster's death, although he's still helping out with a kill from the grave. 2 to go. Magnum's been solid so far. Player just about to peek his left. That timing, oh, it works out so poorly for him. They call that swing on the crossfire at just the right moment. 14 for Mech. 1 more to go.
Switching sides.
Yeah, that crossfire is nigh on unbeatable. Like, it either takes the greatest shot you've ever hit or a huge mistake from the players on the other side. And again, it started so strongly. Like, this crossfire initially getting the first couple of kills, but it's just SHEDULES. Like, the fact he's able to clear both there, it makes no sense to me. It's the same as the other crossfire I just spoke about. Like, you're having to clear 2 spots at once, and it's only because they're not both prepared to face that he ends up getting both of those kills. Massive round from him in OT, and yeah, Chronicle coming up with a triple in the end. It's now left onto this attack once more of FNATIC. Mech in the driver's seat again.
Well, FNATIC, we're probably in the middle of booking their flights, figuring out, hey, what time? You a morning flyer or an evening flyer? And within just a couple minutes, half an hour or so, it looks like they might have a few more games on the cards before they're able to make it the full way, face into an elimination. That's a lot to work against. Mech, just need this one, but Redgar's being caught off. Still, quick flank by Mech coming in through the vent room. You're gonna have Chronicle here before they'll expect him, but the shots are whiffed. That's a big problem. Defo goes up to follow, but he's also gonna be caught. Nats trying to put up a fight on the site's the only one to get any kills here. And that, well, that spells a big problem out for the M3 Seers. This is looking to be OT number 3 indeed.
Yeah, Brave in that round. Like, it was just the perfect timing on every single peak. Like, they walked through.
Seeing these 2 teams button heads again and again, pushing it to the max. We're gonna see a bit of a different approach, though. We've seen everybody on M3C stacked up outside this A site. We don't get to see all too many straight pushes out of this team. You know, this is definitely a team that likes to take its time a little more. Now, they're gonna start this round out playing for that knife to come through. They want Boaster to look for the information right at the start. He doesn't, waits a moment, And it comes through a little bit late. Now they start to push on up, knowing their utility can't be stopped. They're on the way to site. Defo already lost most of his health. He's down to just 6, and then he's deleted. But that flash deals with Boaster. The trade's good. The site there's the plant open for Heaven, but they haven't got Heaven control. They haven't even attempted to take it so far. FNATIC are holding on to it. In fact, they're mounting a little bit of a retake of their own, wanting to mount this fight towards the ramp, and they've run into Nats. That blind is perfect, but a little bit too late. And now it's going to be left just into the hands of Mystic. Sadly, it's not enough. Another big round out of Nats. You know, we haven't got to see a few of those in this series, so it's nice to see him step it up here and now. So we said, what, half one? He had like 1, maybe 2 kills? He certainly found himself on this Astra ever since.
Yeah, as I said, it doesn't seem to last long, and the fact is a lot of these plays have just come off of his positioning, his crosshair placement. It's almost, it seems irrelevant like what agent he's on. He would have found those kills nonetheless, but there's obviously other pieces that he's been putting in. Again, FNATIC on the back foot, but we've seen this many a time, looking to see if Mech have the stones to close this. And again, Chronicles going walkabouts. It could be everything, but it's bait. Ducker's won that fight so many times at this point. He seems like he's got Chronicles' number, and again, they're going to have to play with a disadvantage. But as we said before, that fight has not been the defining factor of this Mech defensive half.
Well, yeah, clearly, because they've lost that fight pretty much every time, right? I mean, the most they've come out of that with is a 1-to-1 trade. That was a win in their book. It's definitely being grim. At the same time, they're getting that control on their side as well. In the same fashion. Stun ready for SHEDULES. It's going out a little bit early, not going to catch them on the crossover. 57 seconds, plenty of time for FNATIC to change direction on this one. They don't have to commit towards an A play. They're going to.
Yeah, and the flank's a little bit late. Like, the remaining players are still pushing through. SHEDULES needs some sort of hero play here, if anything. He's got a little bit of support, but getting out of here is going to be very, very difficult. And they're almost just trying to buy as much time as possible for this flank, which is finally coming through. But as said, it's just a little bit late. Magnum coming up with a couple, and now you look at Defo and Nat's positions. Well, after a while, you have to feel like FNATIC are going to predict this. And you can see it. Magnum's watching.
Yeah, they've got enough players to cover every angle. That's a great stun! Both players fully stunned up, but again... what? What? I saw every bullet hit him. What are you talking about?
Switching sides.
Oh, God.
Overtime.
I don't know how he's gotten away with that.
I feel like Magnum's another one that is just... the second we hit OT... He's just a different beast. It's like he was saving himself for these moments, because I feel like he's had multiple 3Ks, 4Ks now just in these overtime rounds and at huge moments. And I almost feel like this round was a bit of a misread from Mech, because those players pushed all the way through B really early on, just as they were sort of taking Heaven control, and then they went all the way back through spawn. I think they were expecting FNATIC to actually wrap back around and they would catch them in mid, and well, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, it certainly didn't come to reality. So this is us once again pushing up to that OT. M3C Mech on the attack. Taking their way to the A site, stun up. And have the same fast lane towards the site. And by the looks of things, this one's going to be completely uncontested. A free plant for this attacking side. At least so far it's free. See what Boaster's able to do. Oh, this nade is nice. It's actually going to force them out a little bit, doing some decent damage along the way. The 1-for-1 trades, the flash to follow, and Nats just keeps on going still. Only the 1 kill to go his way, which leaves SHEDULES trapped in this corner. They all know that he's here. The whole team grouping up, rushing in. He's still good for 1, but Mystic will deal with him right after.
It's the best opportunity anyone's had on a defensive side so far. Mystic and Boaster, are they going to check the angle? Chronicle just hiding in the corner, and he's going to land both shots with a little help from his friends. We've got an observer who is not only an observer, but he has now become a statistician as well, which is ill. But he's just said we've already had as many attacking rounds in OT as we've actually had in the whole of regulation. So if he's wrong, obviously you blame the observer, but I don't think he is.
It's at esports Silv over on Twitter, XILV.
Well, it was 6 and we've had 7, so I don't think that's I don't think it's a mind-blowing stat.
No, that's big brain stuff right here. He's had the calculator out for that and everything. Gotta give him props. Well, 16-15, we got 1 left to go. Perhaps if M3C can make this happen. Mech Looking for the 17th here and now, and it's Durka rushing out on mid, but a different approach out of Mech. Chronicle's waiting for them to go by. I think he's got an idea of what he wants to do, of punishing them in the late round. I've seen it before where they attempted to go. Oh, whoa, they're actually pushing up through rope. Before we saw them attempt this, but they weren't able to get anything done on account of FNATIC so quickly making it through rope. This time they actually send Redgar in to fight them as well. That's a convincing opening duel now. Mecha finally figured out their mid-hold, and what a time to do it.
Yeah, they have just spammed so much utility just to kill Durka, and it is 100% worth it. The man is down, and now you don't have the tip of the spear on that FNATIC side anymore. And look at this setup that they've got. Complete heaven control, patiently waiting for this push to come through. SHEDULES still with his utility, even the fault line coming back online as they attempt to try and come back up, but Brave hits an instant headshot. Are they going to check though? Will they expect Redgar? He checks it as well. That's the A site open for business. Brave now stepping up to the plate, and that early kill, everything spent to kill off Durka. Well, there was another man with CIS blood in his veins.
This leaves us into a pretty grim situation. The run back in. Look at how much information is just completely blank for Mech. I mean, they're seeing that there's no one in vents. Little do they know, you've actually got Brave waiting to late flank them out through heaven. They're kept back by some utility on the ramp. FNATIC are just boxing them in. They're gonna go for it being OT. And oh,
okay.
Defo's dropped down. That's at least a good kill to start it. This is where Brave needs to be huge on the flank. Magnum at least able to grab one. The defuse underway. They'll swing into it, stopping it at the start. Now things get dangerous. Halfway or just about. Brave coming around the corner though. He stopped the defuse. He's running the clock down. Defo wants the swing, and surely that's it one on time now.
Oh, I don't think he's got it. It's going to be close. Oh! It must have been so ridiculous. Defo almost had it. The bar's complete. It looks complete. Was that 0.02? Oh, no.
Oh, my.
Man has a stopwatch in his head. There is no shot that he managed to just die with 0.02.
Oh, man,
my
it's
God.
so close.
Oh, my God.
Well,
whatever Brave's contract is, extend it by double.
they're still in the running. On the back of, I mean, you say sometimes that games are decided by a split second, by a small
That's a
decision.
split second.
0.02. And that's what stops you in your tracks, what keeps one team alive in this upper bracket run. Oh, good tag. What stops the other from already having flights booked. We go into this next OT, and FNATIC have got to be feeling good. No pauses still. You know, these teams are not catching their breath after that one. They're instead right back into the fray. 55 seconds left on the clock, and Mech, while they're about to challenge Boaster, this heaven control has been decently favorable for Mech the majority of the time. Flash attempt by Boaster, but he's not going to follow up. He's just buying time, keeping them back for now, keeping them at bay. But in fact, Mech, well, they're going back on their own. They want to go all the way back and play B. Do they maybe think the rotates have come through? Because if they do, they're very wrong. Okay, they're going back again.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, and in fact, the problem now is there's actually nobody remaining over on this A side other than, well, the Magnum, someone who's been fantastic so far, but this is a little bit of an ask. He's actually going to commit to the site. He has to isolate the Jules, and while the Flash will catch him just a split second before he's able to get the kill. Nothing the remaining players could do to deny this plant at least, and while it's looking like another good position for Mech.
It certainly is. FNATIC's retake certainly not to be scoffed at, but it's this.
No.
It's that. Nat's right up behind, sneaking his way on in. The rest of the team tucked in their corners, waiting, allowing Nats to make this play, and there it is. He strikes at just the right time. 17-16. Mech are walking away with that round, but, you know, the attack side somehow in OT has been again and again the favorite side. I don't know how, but I know that's been the case. Also, 35-24, man. Even when the rounds are close for FNATIC, Durka still keeps that impressive scoreline alive.
Yeah, what's that? Nine attacking rounds in a row? I don't think many people would have predicted that going into OT after what was, 9-3 defensive halves, but they've come out swinging. FNATIC not willing to let this one go just yet, but each time they're the one with the pressure on, and you have to feel like eventually Mech are going to take this over the line. Eventually, they'll manage to get one of these defensive rounds. This time, Chronicle's actually being a little bit more cheeky in towards B, but it's the mid play. Every single time, it's the mid play.
Yeah, the control on this map is just so important, taking over. It's not even about on the attack side what it opens up. It's about what it takes away from the defenders, and that's the key part. It lengthens the rotations, and it just adds a whole part of the map that they've got to be super worried about. And obviously, you can play those nasty little angles in. With a minute left on the clock, FNATIC are going to be playing this one with same way we've seen it time and time again. This flash works perfectly for someone in the corner. Paranoia takes them down in heaven with good timing. They're not using the blast pack here, so it's a little bit slower than normal. Great pick by Defo. That's Durka down, but Magnum, well, he'll dig deep to fight back. Eliminating Nats, open up the B side slightly, but Chronicle, you can't expect him to just walk through like this. This timing is fantastic. He's gonna swing through, but Magnum's ready somehow, and he's even spotted another.
SHEDULES is here trying to delay them. He's given at least a little bit of time. He actually peeks into the fragment, but the flash is solid. Defo will be forced back. He started this round off with a pick. He's hoping to get a little bit more, and although the time is low, they should have plenty to get themselves the plant. Redgar trying to get back in through heaven. Might know that there's a player close, but Brave is just waiting and watching the clear. Not quite going to come through in time, and now it's left on to the IGO in a 1v3. Does an extra little bit of damage, but it does look like this game is going to continue onwards unless he can find something unbelievable.
A jump peek's coming through, just about to spot him. There you go. Swing out, no response from them, no kill on the back. He's actually going to reposition entirely. Ooh. But it almost works out far too well, but Mystic was ready. 17 to 17. Again, I just cannot imagine what these players are going through, the emotional roller coaster of how some of these rounds have gone down.
Are you talking about Liquid and FPX?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to start like an hour ago. We've got bedtime soon.
Now, this has been a truly remarkable series, delivering far and above what we expected. As we go into yet another overtime, the question remains, when is the defensive side going to see all the love again?
Oh my God.
Not another push down mid. Brave asked good for the opening, and they're out. They're not going to be greedy this time. Defo's going to try to see space elsewhere, and actually does a pretty fine job of it. He's right into the site.
Yeah, the snakebite not doing anywhere near as much damage as maybe they hoped it would. One goes down, Durka. He's found another, and the trades this time are going in FNATIC's favor. 2 players remaining. Chronicle is spotted. And actually, the rest of the team, they haven't turned around. They haven't looked back. Somehow he manages to get an opportunity, but it won't be enough. FNATIC will take the first defensive round. I have to say that the balls on them to go for that mid-peak once again. They did that, what, once? I think in the entirety of regulation, as like a cheeky palate cleanser to what was an incredibly passive hold. To do that in OT, everything on the line, I've got mad respect for you, Boaster, for calling that one.
It's almost the best time to do it, right? You pull that out, and I guarantee you, Mech, are not expecting it, and you saw it right there. Deer in headlights in that sort of scenario. By the time you know what's going on, it's already too late. We're 1 round away now from FNATIC pushing past, and it's onto the attack side, where both of these teams in OT have found success again and again. FNATIC's attack, well, they're looking to take it towards the B side, but we're still going to see that mid-aggression out of Durka by the looks of things.
Well, they had 5 attempts to do this in regulation. They've been given another shot after plenty on the other side. Chronicle, he's still going walkabout. Now, it looks like they might go back and try and shut him down. It definitely has its risks about it, challenging this man, especially when he has the ability to fade away, but they've done incredibly well of shutting down these pushes, and Chronicle this time's not going to stick around too long.
He's right back to the site with that anchor. The beauty of being able to just TP out of there and rendezvous with your teammates. With 1 round to go, FNATIC, well, they're not quite thinking about jumping into a site head first and giving it all away. Instead, they'll actually get detected by the knife in perfect timing as they start to rotate around towards the B side, and that's defo eliminated. Dirkus mid fights, man. He might win them in the start of the round every time. This time he delays it, walks up B heaven, takes the kill, and puts enormous pressure on these players on site. And look at SHEDULES. He's been blinded up multiple times, yet still he's able to get a kill. Repositioned down below, and that's another gorgeous stuff by SHEDULES. Here comes his teammate to help him out as well.
Oh my god, how is he alive? And when they need him the most, SHEDULES has come up with 3, and well, he's even, they've even got the stun there. There's no way the Boaster gets away with that one. Finally, a defensive round comes onto the board, and while Mech is there to match them, it's still going on. 18-18. If you want to see small margins, if you want to see 2 teams with nothing between them, this is the place to be right now. A series which, well, it definitely can go either way, in case anybody didn't wonder, but a ticket straight to Iceland. No pressure after this point. Obviously some money on the line, but for the team that loses, you still have to battle back through that lower bracket where, as I said, it's going to be players who'd lose the next match as well. It could be Liquid, could be FPX. It's not going to be an easy road. You still got the likes of G2 and Guild as well within this tournament. It is not a match either of these teams can afford to lose. And well, right now, flip a coin.
Well, we're coming into OT with, in case you guys didn't notice, with Dirk on an operator. He's playing that towards a ramp. This guy's got like 37 kills right now, and he's pulling out the op. Truly disgusting. Oh, okay,
he's trying to bait. He's baiting the steps.
Yeah, running around the circle. I like it.
He did that last time they played as well outside B main. He basically throws up the wall, try and baits the steps that they've already made it through. The fact that maybe try and get rid of some of the utility on the other side. It doesn't seem like FNATIC have fallen for it, but hey, nothing really lost from it.
Yeah, worth the attempt for sure. Any misinformation you can get out there always going to be worthwhile. 55 seconds, they're coming up on Mech, still with the mid control. It's been given up every single round by both teams, so no surprises there. They know they're going to have to fight into B heaven, and they've got a knife up in just a second. Well, at 3 seconds or so. You can play that for the information up towards B heaven, I'd imagine. Try to skirmish here, play the fake. You know, we've seen this a couple times from Mech. And yeah, same thing's going to come through. That flash works.
Tucker moves.
30 seconds
Oh,
left.
that's kind of risky. Dirk is still there, though.
There, he moved away, but then went back for the peak. He's delayed them as well with the nade. And the problem now, Mitch, is there's only 20 seconds left on the clock. And do they expect Magnum to still be here? He's done this before, looks to do it again. And they're just running out of time. They have to get into the site. The spike is currently going through heaven. Are they attempting to go back to B? I don't even think they have enough time for this. Completely lost the plot towards the end, but it didn't even matter. Round was already over. A good read, a good hold from FNATIC, and well, it seems like we're completely switching up how things are being played, as now it's all the defense that are winning their rounds.
It's quite a strange one. The rotate back. I think gambling into the site last second, meeting such heavy resistance, and you start to see the strain that's being put on these players. At the same time, just one of those rounds is bound to happen eventually. You play it slow, they don't give you anything, and they keep their util for late play to shut you down like that. The problem is for Mech, you make a mistake like that now, FNATIC exploit a little bit of a window like that, and all of a sudden, you know, you're on the back foot now, having to make your defensive side work when the attacks look great so far. We get a little bit shaky, get a little bit scary. And the FNATIC side, oh, they're gonna catch Chronicle. Oh, they're gonna, the whole team's walking around the corner.
Well, he's gonna catch them, bitch.
There you go.
Mystic down. That's your smokes, or at least one of your controllers gone. And with the wall or the screen down on the other side of the map, it means this hold is, well, basically he's got free roam to just try and brawl versus him. And I am not surprised that FNATIC go, you know what? I don't fancy that one.
Not when he has the op like that, yeah. And especially because it's a chamber. Not only are you going to run into the op on long range without the ability to smoke him off, but then you're also going to have to play onto the second time that he shoots. He can just TP.
This setup's so gross. It's just there every time. Stun into a second stun. SHEDULES is already going to drop one. Magnum gets a good timing, but it doesn't really matter so much. And now they have to try and get rid of Nats at the back of this site. He has been an absolute rock when it comes to this defensive side. Trying to clear him out is just going to be impossible. And here's all that utility just going down. Grab well to delay them. Good luck for this one. Nats will close it 19-19. We continue to march on.
Yeah, we're going and going. For those of you that don't know, got to take that 2-round lead when it comes to OT, and so far...
Who doesn't know at this point?
Ain't anybody
right now going like, I wonder how they win.
Yeah, I mean, people tuning in now who, you know, they're usually watching live chess on Twitch. I don't know.
Maybe.
Tom, not everybody plays Valorant all day, every day like us, right? I think people have lives.
I can't wait for Lothar's Lab, which is going to be a 2.5-hour segment in between these games.
Yeah, I want you to break down every round.
I have something from every round. I might need that break, to be honest. I might need it. I don't know if I'm ready for another series, because we don't even know when this is going to end.
If it's going to end. A difference from FNATIC, they try to play aggressive on mid. I guess not a difference when we've seen Brave and Durka do it a couple of times. M3C, good for the control to start with, and they are rolling over that A side. Redgar starting to really show up. And this is scary now. Oh, no. Quick kills by FNATIC. Mystic getting a double on sight. He drops the spike. He goes in for more, and Mystic just cannot be stopped. This man was off at the start of the last round, and he took that personally. 2v1 with Nats having to clutch it. This was looking like a convincing attacking round for Mech. And my God, it has fallen apart quickly.
Oh, he's still alive and kicking, though. Doesn't know where Brave currently sits. He's going to sit there and wait, as it will be a huge comeback in this round. A 2 versus 5 that might just be the last mistake that Mech make. Because now, well, another opportunity going in onto that attack side for FNATIC. I can't believe they won this. By Mystic, just unbelievable performance here, but yeah, Brave as well. And I love the fact that he uses his ultimate just to meet back up with his teammate, give them a much higher chance than those isolated fights they would have had. It's such a small detail, but in crucial moments like that, difference maker.
Really and truly. With that 20-19 we go. FNATIC once again so close to securing their spot. Let's see if they've got what it takes this time. Mech playing very passive in towards B, having great stuns, and that's exactly what they were baiting for with that passive play. They want to punish FNATIC now, let them take the space, and then they'll snatch it right back. 20-20. I'm gonna call it here, because Magnum I don't think he's getting away with this one.
So Mitch, I think what do we call this when you get to 2020? I can't remember. There was a phrase they used.
I hate you, Tom. I hate you.
Was it double digits in the twos?
I hate you so much. It's, why you gotta do that right now?
There's not many opportunities I get to make that joke again, but
I wish there were none. That's gonna start a roll. 19s max, and we just call it flip a coin. Yeah, double digits in the twos. We're there. We've made it. What was it last time? 48 rounds on bind? FEX?
I don't even remember.
46, I think.
Yeah, it was 46. It was
24
to 22. So I don't even want to think about that, I'll be honest. Let's see how this 50. One goes first.
Let's hit double digits in the threes. Let's make it happen.
Oh dear God.
Hey, it could if things keep going this way. We've had attack side, we'd have defense side. It doesn't matter. These teams, they're fighting tooth and nail. You see how much it means. God, this has been like a 4-hour series. They've got to be drained at this point. Moving into round 41. Mech have got control over the A side. A plan found as well, but FNATIC, once again, they planned for this. They wanted to play the retake if it came down to an A hit. Now we get to see what they've got up their sleeve for it.
It's been a battle for ramp almost every single time, and well, the HP is traded back, but not much else. We've also got an aftershock just trying to delay them being able to take that control. If this nade goes through, Nats is almost definitely dead. So incredibly low on HP, and actually he's just going to be stuck in the mud, but they've held onto it at least for now. And the time is ticking. He's going to clip the edge though. Can't survive that extra piece of utility. Redgar, though, is almost instant with the trade. Bringing things back. Shados there as well. Clinical as ever. And once again, it comes down to what looks like an impossible scenario, and Mystic can get nothing done. Mech, again, take themselves the lead. But once more, FNATIC look to try and fight back.
You know it's a good round when you come into OT and you're sitting like a 4v2 at a Rolling Thunder. That round is secure as can be. When Shados shows up like that, I mean, he can hold out and just cancel Diffuse if it even came down to it. But you know, when they're leading by that much, yeah, it made sense to roll it and just pop out into the fights together. 21-20 we roll. And Mech, well, they want to book their spot right here, right now. Defensive side, weapons coming through. No operator again. You know, I'm kind of surprised not seeing them pull it through. I didn't think Durka would be the one to pull it out of everyone here, especially with someone like Chronicle playing what he is.
It's just a game of chicken at this point. Chronicle's pushed every single part of the map in different rounds, so there's no surprise that you can see this default being held. Control being challenged for in towards the ropes, and Defo already going for a bit of a quick rotate. That probably would have been heard, but I think that was his plan. That was the game all along. Fake the footsteps and then go walking back. Brave might just go pushing into this because he thinks that the man on the other side is gone. Instead, he's holding within this smoke. Now, the wall could actually displace him completely. Instead, he just holds position. And what Durka needs to try and clear him out. Instead, he's actually killed off Nats.
He didn't even try. I mean, why? How? That's what Nats is going to be asking. Defo's down too. Oh God, FNATIC, they're fighting their way right back into this one despite Shados' kill, and I like this Boaster coming in on the flank. He's heard the steps, heard the rotates. He's not going to play all the way through, not wanting to give away that advantage. Instead, they'll take the plant, and it's a quite passive one as well, considering the control over Heaven. They opt instead to play it in on default. It's going to make it harder to hold on to in the late round. As Meg begins to push back out, though, Chronicle falls, and that's a devastating blow, really. You've already used up a lot of your utility here as Shados. They've got to win some fights right now, or this one's going to be going to another OT.
He's hoping for that spam, but not going to get anything from it, and you could just see how passive they're holding. Not giving anything up, not giving that extra space, and while Redgar needs to spin on a dime to find these remaining players, instead it is Boaster. 42 rounds is where we've got to now. Again, there is just no telling these teams apart.
No, really. This is map 3. OT number, who even knows at this point? I mean, things are spiraling into the... What is beautiful about it is how differently we're seeing, or the evolution of some of these rounds. You have the constant mid-aggression out of Defo and out of Durka on the attack side. It was honestly getting quite monotonous in regulation, and now mid-control is actually swinging towards defensive side sometimes in early fights. I mean, we've seen FNATIC with Durka and Brave push down here. Even in this round, the wall is here to play with, and Brave is trying to fight it. These teams are gaining the confidence slowly to at least make it more costly in terms of utility and time in taking control over this mid-B area.
Oh, Chronicle. It's close. Mystic has been taking that jump peak for the majority of rounds. It's something they can predict, and no doubt, again, it's ropes control for Defo. The wall is up in spot, though, so they don't really need to worry so much, and with Boaster still holding this control, again, it's just almost a bait out of utility, but with the position of the spike being outside B, that seems to be the point of call, at least for now, and with Boaster slowly making his rotation back, mainly because Durka's got the rest of the spots locked down, they might actually have the right read here.
Enemy suppressed.
Well, that suppression coming through certainly gives a little bit of information to play with. Boaster to try to catch a few of these shots in through the smoke, but nothing to land.
30 seconds left.
That harassment coming out of FNATIC yielding nothing. They're going to have to play a hard retake on this again. These players trapped in towards the spawn. They're even late coming through ropes, but Shados is watching for it. They're coming slowly, though. They're conscious that he could be sat in any of these corners. I mean, that was a nice swing by Shados, to be honest. He timed that perfectly, but Durka's just way too quick.
And now 5v4, an opportunity here for them to get back in. Nats already shuts down one, though, and the trades have started to go back thick and fast. FNATIC swing back themselves, leaving it all onto Nats alongside Chronicle, and Chronicle's left alone. The retake is superb from FNATIC. They'll be the first to hit 22, and well, once again, it's going to have to be that trade back on the other side on that defense. But I really like this from FNATIC now. I think they've stopped sort of over-facing in a lot of these rounds, stopped overplaying, and just playing for those retakes where I feel like they've looked a lot better. Like having all of that extra utility, not using too much of it in those early rounds when they know that the chances are there's not going to be like a blitz round coming out from Mech on the attack, mainly because again, it's such a bold call to go for some sort of fast play on the attack when the defaulty style has been working. So they've just been holding on, similarly to what we saw earlier in the game when Defo was doing exactly the same thing.
Well, there's a distinct difference in the first 10 seconds there. You see FNATIC do nothing on middle. They don't even use the boom bot. That's very, very different considering they've consistently been aggressively seizing that control. It's because the entire team is moving here this time. 3 players up in heaven, the spike there as well. And as we're seeing that lineup of the paranoia, they want to fight this. Now, it's come through a couple of times. This time, though, paranoia is for down below, and it's going to catch the players who are trying to stop them, but SHEDULES is above it. He's able to at least catch the first. That's all he'll get this time, though. FNATIC really upping the pace. They've got the site control, they've got the advantage, and Mech are having to play a retake with one less player, with no SHEDULES to flash them in or stun them up. Even a little bit of damage taken here by Redgar. This is going to be a tough round. We might just be looking at the final one playing out, and in fact, Tom, just take a look at Durka. He's running
such a rat
all the way, and this is perfect because FNATIC have got the time to do this. They've got players on site. They still have 2 snake bites on Magnum. He has a post plant set up inside of B main, and then late play flank.
Flash.
This is their round. I'm gonna call it now. Mech don't win this. I mean, they need a god tier performance to get out alive in this one. They have to catch Durka, and they've done none of it. FNATIC win this one out 23-21, and they're booking their flights to Iceland, baby. They're going to Masters.
It might not be a record match this time, but dear Lord, do they deserve it. One of the longest maps I think we've ever seen within EMEA, and FNATIC are at the heart of it. A truly